Roger Lewis, you are Curator of Ethnology at the Nova Scotia Museum. You're the man to tell me about what we're looking at right now.
What you're looking at is porcupine quill work on birch bark. We have one of the largest collections of quill work here in probably the world. Over here to the right is a pre-1856 portion of that collection. To my left here, the more vibrant, colorful quill boxes are post-1856. Aniline dyes are chemical dyes that were introduced here to Nova Scotia, like I say, circa 1856.
Okay. So these would be natural colors or natural dyes, I guess?
These would be natural dyes, or more earthy, more neutral, versus the more vibrant oranges, reds, and purples here to my left. Quill work was part of your personal adornment for your clothing, and later as the British, or the French earlier, and the British later, they became enamored with the quill work. It became an economic exchange. It was made for trade. Some of the wealthy people here in the city in Europe.
You can see it's beautiful. I can see why people would want some.
This is a box actually, and it dates from 1838 from Shubenacadie, and I just wanted to bring this piece out so you could look at it and just kind of get a sense of what the architecture is in these boxes.
I didn't even know that they came apart like this. I knew they had a lid, but is this typical structure for a quill box?
This is typical structure. They would have measured the diameter. They would have sewn and attached it here with a spruce root stitch. Then they would have measured up a bottom here, a bottom to fit. Then they would have manufactured one of these strips, were very unique to Mi'kmaq baskets, and later made another ring, then attached the top.
Cap it off with a beautiful top there. Yeah, that's very nice.
So the architecture is very simple, but the work is very elaborate, time-consuming.
And that's how did they, like quills? We know what quills are. How would they actually? How do you make something out of quills?
They'd be working with the quills while they were wet.
Okay.
And once these quills dried...
A little more flexible when they're wet?
Yeah, and once they dried, they'd lock in. And what's really unique about Mi'kmaq quill work is the fact that they have these bands, and what you see is, if you just want to turn that, Mi'kmaq people never ever exposed a black piece of quill. And what I'm holding in my hand is a later piece, more current piece. Like I say, this is 1838. This would be the 1980s. And the difference here is the black portion of the quill is showing, and it extends down over the lip of the lid and up over the lip of the bottom. Now, Mi'kmaq would have never, ever, ever did this, but as the art was, we were losing the art. There were very few people doing quill work. They brought somebody down to introduce quilling techniques here in the province.
Okay.
But what they did is they brought down outside influences in quilling. So that's what we're seeing here. We're getting a lot of craftspeople coming in now to look at this typical piece of work.
Were quill boxes unique to Mi'kmaq, or were they used throughout the Wendoki Confederacy?
If you look at quill work from the Atlantic region, it's quill work was done all throughout the Atlantic region by different tribal groups here on the East Coast, but it's all has its unique characteristics, where Mi'kmaq stuff is very unique. Passamaquoddy, Penobscot, Maliseet work is own distinct character.
Is it the age of that one? Is that why we've got the gloves on?
That's right. Well, for this too, because what we have are assets in our fingers and in our hands, and these being very old, the assets.
You got to watch. You don't want your artifacts dissolving.
That's right.
That's why.
That's
okay,
right.
good. I thought it was maybe exam time, or we were going on a diamond heist after. I'm not sure, but if I get to handle them, I'm willing to wear the gloves. These are beautiful. It's customary to give the host a gift, so I'll take that big one back there. Is that okay?
The beaver, you certainly can have
No,
that.
not the beaver, the quill box.
Oh, the quill box.
Well, I'll take both. How about that? It'd be a nice souvenir. No, I'm kidding. I know these are very valuable, and as they should be, because they're absolutely beautiful. Thanks for telling us about them.
You're quite welcome.